All right, so it's time to liven up your classroom critiques a little bit. I have created a product called Art Critique Task Cards. There are two different parts of this product. One is the task cards for viewing artworks. This is really great if you are taking your class through some slides or images or exploring artworks that are online, historical, art history, or contemporary art history. It's also great to use when students are describing the work of other students, so peer to peer critiques as well. There's also some task cards that are for student reflection on their own artworks. So these are things that you can ask the student when they are displaying their own artwork to their peer group. You can use these ones to talk or ask them about their own artwork. Now there's two ways you can print this. You can either print it black and white, as you can see. There's a little bit of, this is a watercolor background that has a little bit of color, but it's pretty neutral. So there's black and white version. Or you can print it onto color paper if you are somebody who likes to liven up your task cards a little bit, okay? So there's two different ways to do that. I highly recommend that you laminate these. This will ensure that these task cards last a really long time. If you do not have resources for laminating these, I highly then suggest that you print them onto cardstock paper. So that is the heavier weight paper that kind of looks like this. And as you can see, it's a little bit more durable, okay? So that is what I recommend that you use if you do not have access to a laminator. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these. Now I'm just gonna put the card versions to the side. And first we're gonna take a look at just a sample. Now this is not all of them, but just a sample of some of the art critique task cards for viewing artworks. Now as you can see, I've already made you a little cover page, so that way when you have your task cards, either you can put them on one of those little like loop things and bundle them that way. You can flip through then, or you can put them in a baggie, and then that way you know what your task cards are, because sometimes when we have tons of task cards, it's really hard to remember what they are when all you see is a question. You have to actually think about. This simplifies all of that. Okay, so art critique task cards for viewing artworks. What is the subject matter of this artwork? Why do you think this? What element of art is most used in creating this artwork? What elements of this artwork seem real? What elements of this artwork seem dreamlike, surreal, or imaginary? What is the most important part of this artwork, and why do you think this? I always think it's important to have the why or how do you know questions, just to create deeper thinking, critical thinking. What was the first thing you saw when you looked at this artwork? What is going on in this artwork? What message do you think the artist is trying to convey to their audience? What mediums or materials were used in creating this artwork? Describe the artwork. What does the artwork look like? What questions would you like to ask the artist? And it continues. Okay, so there's about just over 30 of those in the product. Okay, the next one we have is the art critique task cards for student reflection on their own artwork. Again, use these for talking with the student about their own work. So this is really a reflection piece, super important in creating work and doing anything where you expect to improve on your skills, which is what education is all about. What did you learn from creating this artwork? Could you have done anything differently? Did you overcome a challenge? Did an art movement or style inspire your artwork in any way? Who or what inspired your artwork? Were you inspired by any artist, either contemporary or historical? How did you create your artwork? What tools, techniques, or processes did you use? What is the big idea behind your artwork? What is the message that you are conveying to your audience? What goal did you have for yourself when creating this artwork? Does your artwork explore a social or personal issue? What principles of art and design did you include your artwork? And of course, I included you all them listed there. And what elements of art did you include in your artwork? What mediums or materials did you use in creating your artwork? Why did you choose those ones? How did they inform the subject matter? Describe your artwork. What does your artwork look like? What is the focal point of your artwork? What is the most important? Okay, so these are your different task cards that you guys can use for your classrooms and creating some really rich and deep discussions. So take a look, check them out, purchase them, chop them up, and then laminate or put them in cardstock, and you are ready to go at any moment for creating amazing art critiques with your art classroom. Enjoy!